Funk on Funk is where John Funk talks about Hollywood and film, and this week we're talking with art director and concept artist Paul Gerrard. Ralph McQuarrie is to sci-fi as H.R. Giger is to surrealistic horror, as I would say Paul Gerrard is to dark fantasy. How would you pitch your yourself, Paul?
That's a big question. Um, Dark artist, phantasmagorical artist, I would say. Yeah.
So you're right up my alley. You have
Yeah.
credits on Hellboy, the third one, Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Amongst Thieves, Wrath of the Titans, Gods of Egypt. You've worked on a lot of really great.
hmm hmm
Can you tell us some of your credits?
Well, it all started with Battle Los Angeles. That was the big one. That was like I literally changed the career and went from nowhere to Battle LA. I did the pitch with John, and then it's just never stopped from then. I was very lucky to kind of get in at the top and kind of remain there, really.
What's your origin story? Like you're obviously
Yeah.
you're from the UK.
So my origin story is I come from a small town in the northwest where ambition was zero, pretty much. Um, it took me a long time to get ambitious. Like till my mid 20s, I decided I need to. I was always painting, so I'd paint every day on canvas and whatever. And I decided I need to do something job wise, so I got into games. Um, and I moved to the northeast. I got into games. I was in games for 10 years. I worked up from like 3D artist to art director. But I always still wanted to. I loved the artwork of movies, but I could never get my head around how anybody could even be an artist in a movie. It wasn't like something you'd like even contemplate. So, but what I was doing is I had my 9 to 5 job. I would go home, I would paint, and I would draw and I would paint. And I got some work in a gallery in New York. It was like a dark art gallery in New York. And from that, they made like a book of the artwork. And John Liebesman, the director, happened to see a piece of my artwork in that book. And he said, "Would you like to do this pitch with me for Battle LA?" I had no idea how to work on a movie, um, no idea how to do concept art, but I kind of learned on the spot. I did it, and it went kind of like just overnight, really. Quit my job and went head first into movie artwork.
It sounds like you started off painting.
Mhm. It's a mix of, I would say, traditional painting and like digital matte painting. I'm the guy that directors come to think outside the box a little bit. So in Battle LA, it was like we had to make an alien that nobody's ever seen before. In Wrath of the Titans, it was a similar thing. He wanted to show these mythical creatures as something completely different. So I was stuck in that mind frame, and to the point that I was so naive, I couldn't get out of it. And I think Wrath was an eye opener because I pushed it too far to the point that these creatures, the studio looked at them and thought, okay, we like this bit, but then they moved far away from them. They moved towards like just standard kind of concept art, creature design.
I would argue that some of your artwork, like the Minotaur, influenced it to a degree. I mean,
hmm hmm
I think it's
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
You
A
know,
little bit, I think so, a little bit, yeah. And then in Ninja Turtles, it was the same thing. I didn't realize how to have fun doing the artwork. So I should have been embracing Ninja Turtles like fully, the cartoon, the whole thing. But I was so deadly serious that there was too much of a mismatch. Dungeons and Dragons, so I had a hell of a lot of fun doing that
it's a
one. I had
great
to.
movie. It's a great
It's a good
movie.
fun movie. Yeah, I had to really, really fight to get on it because everybody saw me as the horror guy, like the monochromatic horror guy, and I had to say, I can do it's more than that.
I like the Fat Dragon.
Yeah, yeah, it was a good one, wasn't it? Yeah. The most challenging one was Paradise Lost with Alex Perez.
Our
Um,
project.
yeah, yeah, not in a bad way. It's just because I was kind of learning quick. I kind of because I think the first month or so, I was still in the black and white mentality. monochrome, and I had to switch pretty quick, and just try and think outside my comfort zone a little bit. Because I was doing the scenes as well, and I'd never done scenes before. So it wasn't just characters; it was the scenes as well. I had to kind of mix it up a little bit. Yeah. So that was the challenging part, but fun.
How would you say your Hellboy was different than the Guillermo del Toro Hellboy?
Probably more grounded, I would say. I know they still went for the high fantasy value, but I think in terms of uh,
Gritty, gritty.
fantasy, it was a bit more gritty. Yeah.
So Paul, if anybody wants to follow, your artwork because they like the genre and they like your work, they should go to your website. Are you on social media?
Yeah, I'm on the usual rubbish. I don't really engage it too much. But if people want to just reach out to the website, that's fine. I'll chat. Yeah.
Website, you've got Rivals coming out.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's coming out. Yeah, that will probably hit a crowdfunding in about 3 weeks. And
fantastic.
then Cranial Alpha hits the publishers next week. We'll see where that goes. Yeah.
And then there's our collaboration, which I have on
Yeah.
IMDb as untitled, but
Mhm.
it has a title, as you know. But
Mhm.
we're methodically packaging at the moment.
Mhm.
And I look forward to
Yeah.
continuing with you on it because it's
Mhm.
been fantastic. And you gave me some artwork the other day that, I love. So, Paul, I really appreciate your
Well,
time. And
thank you very much.
until my next video, thank you.